Hey Pioneer Nation, I'm your host Jonathan Griffin, and welcome in to the Pioneer Offseason Beat. Today our guest is the head women's soccer coach of the Lady Pioneers, Eric Belcher. Coach Belcher, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, we're excited to be here. Ready to get the season underway.
Before we touch on, we're going to talk a little bit about last season. We're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming season. Before we touch on that, you literally are just coming off of basically your inaugural camp here at Glenville State this past summer. The last 3 days, you guys have been going strong. You've had some players in here working with several different communities and different areas in the state of West Virginia to talk a little bit about the camp and having the students here on campus.
Yeah, it was our first inaugural camp here. We did a residential camp, so it was 3 days. We had the pleasure of having Pocahontas High School in, both the boys and the girls teams. They turned up strong. We also had a few local kids come in out of Bridgeport, Fairmont, and Braxton County. Our total numbers hit 25, which was really good for our first camp. And we just spent the last 3 days doing soccer, team bonding activities, and just trying to get more familiar with Glenville and soccer.
Awesome. I saw a little bit of it. I came out, I took some pictures. It looked like the kids, not only were they learning, but they were having fun doing it. So, looking back, it is now official. The first inaugural season for women's soccer at Glenville State College is in the books last year. Talk a little bit about what that meant to you, just, kind of starting this thing from scratch and seeing it kind of grow to what it is now.
The first season was tough. Anything you do first is always tough. So, I think the girls did a good job in laying a good foundation, spreading the word about us, just building day in, day out, and, just trying to be better for the school. As far as the team goes and for us goes, I think we've hit a lot of ups and ups and downs and ups. We had some high points in the spring, which comes from just developing over the winter. Our girls got stronger, and, we went ahead to finish strong in the spring. But like I said, I'm very proud of those that laid some foundation for, future pioneers coming in here in terms of playing soccer and just, having an opportunity at Glenville to do something with sports.
You guys will literally play about a month from now in your first official scrimmage or exhibition of the 2019 season against Shawnee State, and then the following Saturday, you guys are home against Salem in a scrimmage. Talk a little bit about the 2019 upcoming season, your expectations, and then we can get into the schedule a little bit.
Right. So a month away from our first scrimmage. Looking forward to the class coming in. They're still very young, and we're still very young. But we got a lot of hard workers that'll be a part of this program going forward over the next few years, which is exciting. Like you said, a month away from our first scrimmage. We set our preseason up a little bit different this year. We want to go a little bit harder, a little bit stronger, a little bit faster, sooner. I think going into things, if you can hit the ground running, you're going to be more successful. Shawnee State out in Ohio, I think it's NAIA school. It's going to be a good test for us right off the bat. Absolutely 3 days after we get in, we're getting to it. There's no sitting around. We're ready to hit the ground running this year, especially with such a young team. It's going to be very tough to get acclimated to, NCAA soccer very quick at such a very young point that we're at. But we're ready for it.
Then kind of fast forwarding and looking at the regular season schedule for you guys. You guys open up with 3 straight non-conference opponents, September 7th at IUP, then at home on the 10th against Lake Erie, and then Washington Adventist on September 14th at their place. Talk a little bit about those non-conference matchups. Really 3 tough opponents to open up the season.
IUP, obviously out of the PSAC, someone we played last year. I think they've got a good coach. I think they bring a pretty good style of play that'll get us ready for conference. This year we're going to travel up there, look to get a bit of a result. I thought last year when we played them, there was times in the game where we actually held our own. I think we have kids that can compete with PSAC schools, so we're looking forward to that. Then Lake Erie, someone a little bit different, a little bit farther away, play a little bit different soccer. They're coming down. We're excited to have them. I spoke with their coach. He's kind of new to the team as well, so. Both 2 new programs, 2 new coaches going at it will be fun. And then finally we head back to Washington at Venice. Thought we had a good game out there last year, kind of our breakout game. We scored our first through 4th goals. 2 girls had 2-goal games, so that was pretty good for us. sort of a turning point in our season as a young team. They figured out, hey, we can score goals, we can do this. So, we're excited to make that trip again, especially since it's out in D.C. We'll go do a little sightseeing and take in the culture. We got girls that have never been to D.C., so that'll be pretty fun.
Then after that, kind of getting into conference schedule, you guys have 3 homestands against West Virginia Wesleyan on the 19th, Charleston on the 25th, and then D&E, which is a newcomer into the Mountain East Conference, on the 29th. Talk a little bit about those three back-to-back home openers starting conference schedule.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. We're getting slammed right away with 3 top strong teams in our conference. Obviously, Wesleyan back-to-back champions in the tournament and the conference. And then Charleston not too far off from being nationally ranked. And then D&E, newcomers to the conference, won the GMAC a few years ago. So right off the bat, we're taking on the toughest. We're okay with that. I mean, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So we're ready for them right away.
Looking at your roster a little bit, a lot of returners coming back. Again, a young team, as you stated. Anytime you're going to build something from scratch, it's going to be young. But you got a lot of experience coming back. Let's talk a little bit about Julia Lesko, Bria Webb, some of the other girls that you think are really going to put their stamp on this program coming into this second season.
Yeah, I think we have 15 returning. Out of those 15, I think all of them are freshmen except for maybe 3 or 4. So they'll be sophomores. Sorry about that. But, looking forward to the girls' growth this summer. I think, our big-time starting returning players are going to do well. Julia's had a great 2 years here. First year, I think she rattled off 10 goals our club season. Same with Bree. I think she rattled off 3 or 4 with 4 or 5 or 6 assists. Bree last year coming in with some great assists on our 4 goals that we scored, just showing a bit of improvement in what she's doing. And then Julia scoring 2 great goals last year. I think she's got more in her this year coming up. So those 2 will be the linchpins in trying to carry the team forward offensively. And then we've got Morgan returning in goal. She's been working hard this summer, avoid the injury bug. And then we also got some other small pieces coming back that are going to be very big in helping us achieve what we need to achieve.
And you signed a pretty big 2019 class incoming, a lot of freshmen. Talk a little bit about some of the newcomers for Pioneer fans to kind of keep their eye on.
Yeah, I think we signed 13 coming in so far, 13 or 14. We got a few transfer students that, we're really excited for. We got one girl coming in from Cal PA. She's very strong. I think she'll do well. We've also got a couple kids coming in from, I think one's from Hawaii, transferring in, another one from a school in Georgia. They're bringing a little bit more experience to us, NCAA transfers. So they've been there, they've done that. But there will be a shock to jump into our conference where it's very physical and very athletic. We've got some strong freshmen coming in from Ohio, Virginia, and Maryland that have played at a high level. So they'll acclimate pretty quick, and, they're very excited to be here. Normally you can get the best out of a team when they're very excited to be here, and we've got a few that are very, very, very excited. I think our freshman class is going to show out well. They'll push our returners to do a little bit more in terms of giving the team what they need. And I think overall we're going to put ourselves in a good position going forward.
Yeah, it's always good to have some of those younger kids that can come in and kind of push those upperclassmen. I mean, it's all about the competitive edge, and obviously, you want the best out there on the field. So then something else me and you were talking about, the West Virginia Soccer Association. Sunday, September 29th, they're going to be down here for our D&E game. Talk a little bit about that. I know they did it last year. They did some giveaways and stuff. I know it's kind of still in the works and still kind of early, but talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun day. So West Virginia Soccer Association will come in. They'll set up a tent for us. They'll have tons of giveaways, and they just try to hit every college and get West Virginia soccer from the youth level more involved with the college level. We got a lot of good youth teams in the local areas, and it's always good for them to be able to understand you can be a local kid to go to college and play soccer at a high level. I often run into the West Virginia guys at some of the recruiting events and some of the youth tournaments, and they love coming to Glenville. We have a lot of kids that have parents at our alma maters, Glenville. A lot of the people that work with West Virginia soccer are from Glenville. So, when they come here, it's kind of like a homecoming, and they enjoy it. They enjoy coming to Glenville. So that'll be a good date. Make sure you try to get your kids out, get your friends out. There'll be a lot of free stuff, and I know, people love free stuff. So make sure you turn up for that.
All right. Well, Coach Belcher, again, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule, prepping for the season, just coming off of camp to sit down and talk a little Pioneer soccer with us.
Yeah, no problem. We hope to see some of you out at the games.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's Pioneer Offseason Beat. Again, I'd like to thank Coach Eric Belcher. I'd like to thank Jake Zimmers from Pioneer Media. For myself, Jonathan Griffin, all of us here at Glenville State Athletics, hope to see you at several of our contests throughout the season. For more information on women's soccer, please visit us online at gscpioneers.com. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, Facebook Glenville State Pioneers, Twitter GSC Pioneers. We will see you guys next week.